jasmine, oolong, green, and white. Long ago, these 4 teas were skillfully brewed at the Blissful Brew. Then, everything changed when the shop's popularity threatened its existence. All Mr. Okuran, the shop's owner and tea master, could do was to recruit 4 teenage orphans to learn his trade and staff his shop. A year has passed since the orphans were hired, and although their skills have progressed, they still have a lot to learn before they can brew anything. But I believe that they have the potential to make the Blissful Brew the greatest tea shop in the world.
Welcome back, everybody. Can you believe it? It's season 3 of our Avatar Legends podcast titled Benders and Brews. In case you missed that part, I am here. It's complete. Everything's different. Everything's different since like the last time we recorded. I feel like we have a whole different podcast set up. We've got all the same mic, which is exciting for me, Skylar, as the person that has to edit all this. The characters are the same. I think that's important to establish. We're all still playing the same characters. I'm still the game master.
I don't know. We might be changed on the inside.
Well, let's hope that we're changed on the inside. That's for sure. Fantastic. Awesome. So, as you should have heard if you checked out the announcement that we posted recently, season 3 is going to be the finale season for Benders and Brews. I know it's sad. It's exciting. A lot of emotions flying around. There's just a lot going on, and we got to close out this storyline. That doesn't mean anything's gonna happen to Session Zero Heroes. It's just we're gonna focus on other shows, and hopefully we'll have a chance to get back into Avatar Legends at some point in the future. Maybe do some one shots with some of the characters. We'll see what happens. But for whatever the case, right now the plan is to close out with season 3. So let's kick things off. We're at episode 0. We're going to do a little bit of like character development, some level ups, things along those lines, things that we don't do at the end of every episode that maybe is my own fault for not doing, but that's okay. So first of all, start with introductions like we always do. With me today, we got, again, all the 4 main ones. Let's have everybody introduce themselves and their character. Dave, you want to kick things off?
Dave here playing Guohan, who is an earthbender, playing the Adamant class. And he is short, wide, and full of pride.
This is like my favorite quote from your character. Awesome. So thank you, Dave, for introducing yourself and your character. Next up, we got Michaela.
Hi. I play Mika, and she's a emotional teenage girl, I guess.
That she is. And she waterbends on the side.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The emotional thing, that's like her main area. So awesome. Fantastic. Next up we got Connor.
Hello, I'm Broccoli, the earthbender, son of the cabbage farmer Hammer class. Also borderline sociopathic, but we're dealing with that.
It is entirely possible. All right, and then right next to Connor, we've got Cameron. Cameron, give us your intro for the episode 0 of season 3.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I'm playing Bill Dorr. Bill Dorr is young, dumb, and full of, winky face.
Did you do this one last?
No, maybe I did. It's easy to
No. It's probably in Criminals of Isla Numas. Now that I think about
very familiar to a bit I've done before. I think it fits Bill Dorr.
Oh boy. All right, so you guys, at the end of season 2, and if you are trying to remember what all had happened by the end of season 2, or if you haven't listened to season 2, you should definitely go do that. And if you haven't listened to season 1, you should definitely go do that first and foremost. Season 1, season 2, and then what we're doing right now, which is season 3, right? But if you have listened to it and you just want to get a recap, we will have posted one of those, which would have come before this episode. So definitely go check that out. But bottom line, when we left things off, you guys were in sort of this big treasure hunt that Mr. Okuran had left behind for you to do in order to get the paperwork, the title, there we go, for the Blissful Brew tea shop like ownership, right? You guys were going to get that so that it didn't go to Madame Yang, it didn't go up for auction, and then she would buy you out because she's a millionaire in this world. Sure. We'll go with that. Whatever the case, you guys had done 2 of the proverbial challenges. And along that way, you guys had experienced a lot, even though it was a short series of days. And we're not obviously jumping into the episode right now. This is just episode 0. This isn't like jumping back into the story. That'll be episode 1. But we do have growth that everybody has gone through. So what I want to do is go through each person and ask you guys your growth questions. And then we'll also ask each of you the 3 questions that I'm going to ask for all of you, right? You all have specific questions to be asked, and then you all have the set of questions that I ask for everybody. And so that'll determine whether you guys level up. That's kind of the level up system that they created for Avatar Legends. You each have your own question, and every time you do something that kind of fills in that question, you gain an experience point. Those experience points go towards leveling up, which gives you new abilities, which gives you new stronger powers, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll start off with the first ones I've got on my list is Bill. So we'll start with Bill, if that's cool with you, Cameron.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So Bill, your specific growth question, like specific to you, is did you pursue a desire or goal that was your own outside of protecting others, since you are playing the Guardian? Who is your current ward, by the way? Guohan. Okay, awesome. So it doesn't matter. I guess I just wanted to like establish that beforehand, but whatever the case, did you pursue a goal or a desire that was your own and it was outside of protecting others? Do you feel like you did this in season 2 at some point or multiple times in season 2?
So in the first season, I know I didn't, because I just did everything Mr. Okran told me to do and never had an individual, a unique thought to myself.
Okay.
But in season 2, I would say yes.
Sure.
Because Bill is the most, out of everyone in this group, the most adamant at finding this will and leading everyone further along it. Yeah. I do remember that one village we were in with the fish people, the Shishu god or whatever. I remember Bill kept wanting to just leave and go on the ship and just ditch that. Just and
you kind of did at one point, like at the end there, you were like, screw it. I'm just gonna,
like, when we finished everything, I just went straight to the boat and got everything ready, because Bill is kind of done waiting for everyone, and he's just like, this is my current goal and I want to do it. So I guess through that is Bill doing stuff on his own finally.
Yeah. I mean, are there multiple like situations? Because I mean, normally you would do this at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
And
can I think of anything else where he's done that?
Yeah.
I know he was doing a lot of leading back on the island as well with the pirates.
Sure. Yep. Especially because you were familiar with the pirates, which kind of helped.
He also led the escape plan as well to get away from the pirates, because he knew the pirates and how to get away from them, because he had done it before.
Yeah, definitely.
With Okran.
Awesome.
I think those are 2 other times he's really stepped up as a leader of the group.
Yeah.
Instead of just falling back and just kind of doing whatever the group wanted to do.
No, I completely agree. Awesome.
You took over my position in season 1.
Basically, we just swapped places.
Basically. I was too busy crying.
Oh man, that's an emotional time for all of us for sure. So awesome. Okay, and then so mark those for experience points, and then I'll go through the same growth questions for each of you. So it'll get a little bit repetitive, but also the answers are going to be different, obviously, for each person. So first question is: did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
I guess not really until we got to the very last village we're in right now. Yeah. Where we've Udao, where we've come hand in hand with, or face to face rather, with the Fire Nation take over.
Okay.
Which, knowing Bill and his backstory and his connection, because he's from the Fire Nation formerly.
Yeah.
Is very close to home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Walking to an Earth village and seeing Fire Nation everywhere.
Absolutely.
So that is
definitely some like challenging and complicated
element of the world that's thrown to Bill. So
absolutely. Here's probably a maybe an easier one, and kind of relates back to your personal growth question, which is: did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem? The last one, I think we can all just establish right now. You all solved the community problem in the whole case of the missing scale. So just everybody just mark that one now, so that we don't have to just do that for everybody.
I would say also to cover everyone as well, we stopped the threat and saved the community in that the very final episode of season 2, where we broke into that room and stole the maps and stuff.
The whole rescue team squadron.
And then burnt down the rest of their stuff that room. So I think that's in our time we as a group
Yeah.
collectively.
So everybody mark that one as well. I didn't think I'd be able to just ask kind of as the group, but I mean, yeah, if anybody thinks of anything along the way outside of what, Cameron might mention, feel free to bring that up on your turn. So, and then finally, the last question for you, Bill, did you guide a character towards balance or end the session at your center when it comes to balance?
No.
Okay.
I will say Bill has been noticing that Brock has become more chaotic than he normally is being.
Yeah.
And Bill, being pretty close with Brock and knows how reckless Brock can be, especially from his one-on-one adventure with Brock. He knows Brock might need to be,
kept an eye on.
led down a better, safer path.
Oh, okay.
If need
Guided.
be.
There we go.
Guided is the right word here.
Do you need to change your ward? You can do that.
I was looking at that, my connections, and I have like 2 spots, and it says Bohan is my word. They need me to protect them and have their back. And then it said Brock looks like they're more than capable without my help. I'm glad they can take care of themselves. And as season 2 went on, it seemed like Guohan was more than capable for himself. He's a very crafty, scrappy little guy who can handle himself, probably from what he learned at the carnival.
Yeah.
But then he feels like Brock Lee is just this ball of energy. And if he just gets his mind on the wrong thing, he's going to go the wrong direction.
Sure.
So I think I am going to be swapping my ward from
Absolutely.
Guohan to Brock Lee.
And it's kind of a situation of like, you got to protect him from himself. Like you might not have to protect him like physically, like he's stronger and more intense when it comes to the fight. But
that's what I'm saying. Like Bill might be learning protecting people is more than just physically protecting them. It's actually like guiding them towards a mentally better path.
Sure. So definitely some interesting growth, both from your perspective as well as like kind of a pathway that you're going to make for yourself going into the future. And maybe it's not an experience now, but it sounds like you're going to focus on that as something that you were hoping to gain experience from later on. So whatever the case, did that hit you at a level up point?
Yeah. Especially since I didn't level up last season.
Oh yeah. Did it get you 2?
No, just 1.
Oh, okay. All right. So one thing that I want to establish really quick before we go any further is that I'm going to, because this is, as far as we know, the last season, we're kind of coming up to the end of this arc. I want to give everybody their moment of balance, which is one of the options that you gain from advancement. I'm going to do that for free. You don't have to use that as your experience in order to take that. I want to just have that opportunity for everybody to have that and to use that and to create that big moment for your character throughout the season. So with that in mind, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or anything, but with that in mind, what did you choose to take with your advancement?
A ability from a different playbook.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the Bold. I don't have it on me where I got it from. I believe it was the Bold.
No,
it was called Not Done Yet.
Not Done
and
Yet.
It's basically if I was to run out of fatigue and get knocked out in a fight, I can use Not Done Yet, and then I'm guaranteed to get another turn.
Okay.
And have one final move before I get knocked down.
I didn't hear no bell. Nice. Okay. I like it. Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Cameron. That'll be exciting to see. I like that you really had that kind of direction that you want to take your character in and kind of give him a focus before we jump into season 3. I think that'll be awesome. So jumping on to Brock Lee next. I like how I listed out everybody in order they are around the table. And then I did that beforehand. So like, I didn't know where you'd be sitting.
Fantastic.
All right, Brock.
Yes.
Your specific growth question is, did you make progress towards your goal against your adversary? And before we go too much further, I want to establish, normally your adversary would be one specific person. I'm going to open it up a little bit more because of the story and where we're at. So your adversary, if I remember correctly, is Wang Long, General Wang Long from the Fire Nation.
Yep.
Because he, imprisoned he attacked your village, he destroyed it, he imprisoned you and your family for a while, like all this other stuff. But I also want to add in that Madame Yang is also an option, and kind of Hot Leaf Juice in general as an adversary, given what they did.
A lot of coyote boars too. Because like with Chikra and when they were attacking the village in season 1.
Yeah, but that would be season 1.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, if you want to, if you didn't get it last time, I'm not going to stop you from taking it, especially because you didn't even level up last time.
I don't think I've leveled up an entire time this campaign.
Yeah, so I would say, yeah, I'll allow that. The
You
wild
didn't
kitey
level up
boars.
yet either?
Nope.
Yeah, this will be
This is base level broccoli.
base level broccoli doing all this crazy stuff that he's been doing, jumping on a gator shark and stabbing it in the head.
Yep.
Whatever the case, yeah. So definitely take one for the wild coyote boars and that whole situation. And then moving into season 2 and everything that you did in there with what we said, do you feel like you made progress in your goal against either of those adversaries that I mentioned?
I would imagine, towards Madame Yang.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember what was in season 1 and what was in season 2.
That's fair.
Well, I guess season 2 started with our going on this adventure towards getting the will. So I guess all of that Madame Yang hot leaf juice stuff was just in season 1, wasn't it?
For the most part, yeah. But you also have to keep in mind that, I mean, look at it from an open perspective of Madame Yang currently wants to take the tea shop. And I would say that your progress, and I'm not going to say every single time you guys find a piece of the map and the next clue and all this other stuff would count. But at the very least, you haven't even gotten your kind of section of things just yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he hasn't addressed you quite yet.
But if we're counting any time that Brock has been the one to push us along, I would like to take credit at least for one when we were trying to figure out the shui scale by just hanging everybody upside down and shaking them around until
something came out and it gave you the clue. That's a fair point. And I say that let's do a quick look. One thing that I want to point out as far as your adversary goes, because I definitely want that to be in there.
Yeah.
But I think that'll come in the other questions.
Okay.
But for the adversary, at the very least, you did run into Wang Long at the very end of season 2 when you guys were at the Rescue Team Squadron's old base. You broke in, you snuck in, you destroyed some documents there that he was after, and then you escaped.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that was at the very least a step in the direction of kind of swinging it to him.
I'll take that. Yeah.
So definitely take that one. And then we'll go into the other stuff. And I definitely think that the community problem specifically, which will be the second question, that's going to be part of that. But we'll go to the first question first, which is, did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Well, I learned something challenging, had to learn about death.
Oh,
Had to learn about, getting over the death of a loved one. I learned something exciting that you can get into just about any business with a clipboard and enough confidence.
And claiming to be OSHA.
Yes.
That's a fair point. Awesome. All right. Those are two solid. Okay. So those are two good examples. Jumping over to, did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem? We already talked about the community problem.
We've solved the shui scale.
Yep.
The community problem. What did we go into that factory building for?
So you had been tasked with Mayu Yinyu, who was the contact or friend of Mr. Okuran that he told you to find, and turned out to be one of the leading members of Rescue Team Squadron. And to prove that you guys were not Fire Nation operatives or just generally like spies of some kind, you guys were tasked with sabotaging that factory.
Right. So that wasn't really a community problem.
Maybe not. I would say that, did you stop a dangerous threat that was a factory that was developing Fire Nation weaponry?
I would say so, yeah.
And then I would also point out that at the almost beginning, was it like episode 2 of season 2? You specifically, well, actually, there were 2 points of this. One of them, you jumped onto the rock monster.
Oh, yeah.
And you pulled the crystal out of its head, which inevitably stopped it from causing any more destruction. So there was that. And then also in a very similar manner, jumping onto the back of the gator shark that the pirates were dealing with and jamming spears into it with kind of little sense of fear or self-protection. But I digress. You did stop a dangerous threat in both of those instances.
Sweet.
So I'd say that definitely works. And then last question, did you guide a character towards balance or end the session at your center?
I did not end the session at my center.
Okay.
Strangely enough.
I think so. Just going forward into the season 3, did you guide a character towards balance? I know people have mentioned it before in like the Discord and stuff about maybe we use a bit more of the concept of calling other characters out. It's up to you guys, obviously, but that is an option, and I think that's kind of where that comes into play a little bit more. Is there anything else that you can think of that I might have missed?
I mean, I tried to make friends with the big guy on the pirate ship. It didn't really work.
It didn't really work, but you tried.
I tried my darndest. And the first mate, the older lady.
Oh, yeah.
What was her name?
Either
I really pursued her. She really pursued me. I remember it was a really one-sided thing.
I do vaguely remember
She
that. That's
pursued
true.
you.
Oh, no. I think it was the girl at the theater that pursued me, and then I pursued the pirate lady.
Yes. Those
Didn't
are both
get
correct.
with either of them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a
As
shame.
far as we know, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So did you manage to advance based off any of that stuff? I would hope so, because you didn't advance after season 1.
Yeah, I did. I've advanced on... I would say I've advanced.
Okay. Do you think you got 2? So I don't remember how many things that we list, but each time that you basically had an answer was a experience point.
I mean, I'll take 2.
or
I think
3.
that was at least 2, yeah. So you get 2 different options from that list of options for advancement. Which one? And then on top of that, you'll get the moment of balance, which you can use. It should be on your character sheet on there, telling you how that gets used or what that kind of means for your specific playbook. But outside of that, do you have 2 things that you picked out from your advancement options?
Yes, I am adding a +1 to my... I guess I can't add it to passion because that would make it a +3. But I will take a +1 to my creativity.
Okay.
And then so that
I'm
makes
sure that's
it
an encouragement to Bill. Like, oh, good, he's moving in a creative direction.
Well, wait for
that's true. There could be danger.
That's not a good thing.
Before he was destructive. Now he's creatively destructive.
Yeah, and my second one is I'm taking a
move
out of another person's playbook. I'm going into the Razor's playbook.
Okay.
And I'm taking the winning is everything.
Tell me a little bit about that. I'm scared, but tell me a little bit about that.
When you choose to use dirty tactics, i.e. targeting an innocent that your foe is trying to protect, throwing sand in their face, etc., at the start of a combat exchange instead of using one of the standard approaches, say what you do and take a 10+ instead of rolling the stance move. So I guess automatically my first shot hits, and it hits perfectly.
To hit an innocent involved in the situation.
Well, collateral damage.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well,
you become favored in this exchange and may choose your techniques from any approach. At the end of the exchange, your opponent may call out your disgraceful behavior and lack of integrity to shift your balance.
So everybody remember that. You can call him out for it. Just please do.
This kind of fits well.
Yes.
With, where Bill is at right now. With
exactly. Bill, keep a close eye on Rock because you need to call him out if he does this. That should be interesting. Okay, fantastic.
Hey everyone, Skylar here, your friendly neighborhood game master. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that we at Benders Brews have been working our creative juices extra hard and pushing our artistic skills to the max in order to bring you some sick Benders Brews merch. That's right, you can head on over to the TeePublic shop we created where you can snag shirts, stickers, mugs, and so much more with your favorite B&B characters on them. Grab a Chibi Mika baseball t-shirt, or maybe you want a broccoli mug designed with the Employee Blissful Brew Tea Shop logo. There's all of those and more, and even more down the road when we come up with ideas. So head on over to TeePublic and search for Benders and Brews, or you can follow us on social media where we'll post the links that'll be easily available to all of you. And of course, if you get some of our merch, be sure to tag us in a photo of you with the respective B&B swag because all of us at the studio would love to see it. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the show.
Jumping over to Mika. Mika, your question is, did you get a friend to join in or approve of one of your bad habits or, questionable activities? No?
I don't know. I feel like I was more of a loner.
I feel like you were a bit more of a loner.
Except when I did the bathroom thing. in the factory.
Oh,
or not the factory, wherever that was.
Oh,
With the toilet water.
Yeah. That was in the Rescue Team Squadron old days.
Didn't I have somebody help me with that?
I think you did. Yeah. Was it Bill? It was Bill.
I watched the door.
And you broke about it. So yeah, I'd say that counts.
Okay, we'll count that.
And then I don't remember, did you, when you each kind of did, now NPCs can count. It doesn't specify that it had to be.
The girl on the pirate ship, my friend we were shooting the bows. I encouraged her and then she encouraged me.
Was that a bad habit?
No, that was a good habit. We were killing the gator shark.
What about when you were in the Fire Nation factory and you had to break? Was that just you? I mean, did you kind of like solo that one? You like jammed a spear into the bellows that were heating the furnace?
No, I'm pretty sure I did the first one and didn't the rest of them do the second one?
Yeah, like each person kind of had their own thing, but I'm just trying to remember.
But wasn't there two bellows?
Yeah.
Is what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I broke one.
Yeah, you poked one, but was the other one by accident? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was. I think it was.
Like you managed to.
I don't think that I let anybody know that I did that. Because I think I was just like, oh no, sorry.
Yeah, they don't know how you did it. They just know that it got done, and that's what's important. So, okay, no, that's fine. So at least you got one off of that. And then moving on to the other growth questions, did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Well, I'd say at the start, I was just sad because, everyone dies. But at the end, I found my dad.
That's
so there is
true.
hope.
That's true.
There's hope.
And that was exciting to say the least. Maybe a little less into the complication, but it added to the excitement. So that's good. Okay, so mark those. Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem?
I'm going to say no to that one.
I guess you technically... Okay, so to be fair, you and Michaela were not necessarily in the session where we did the whole thing with Shui Shui and all that. We did say that your character was there and she just kind of followed along. So I'll give you one for that just because Mika was adjacent to the situation. But you did stop the bellows. I'd go back to the bellows. That was a dangerous threat. And then the toilet thing also was kind of a dangerous threat. That you specifically headed, and I think that's important. So there's that. And then lastly, did you guide a character towards balance, or did you end the session at your center?
No.
Okay. Like I said, that's kind of one that we'll all work on, so that's okay. All right. Did that hit you an advancement?
Yeah.
Awesome. What are you taking?
I'm gonna take a move from my playbook.
Okay.
And I'm going to do casing the joint.
Casing the joint. That sounds cool. What does that do?
So when I assess a situation, I can add these questions to the list. I can also always ask one extra question from these options, even on a miss.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
Do you want to know my extra questions?
I'd love to know your extra questions.
Okay, my extra questions are, what here is most valuable or interesting to me?
Okay.
Who or what is most vulnerable to me?
Okay.
Who here is in control, wealthiest, has the most power?
Okay, some very roguish, kind of thievery questions. I like it. No, that'll be fun. That'll be fun for me to answer. So I'm excited. All right, Dave, Guohan, last but not least, sorry for the wait. Your question is, did you seek support or guidance from others?
Well, I'd say yes. I mean, Gohan... It's kind of taking dad auditions there towards the end.
That's so true. I mean, you literally were like, "Oh man, okay, you could be my dad." Oh, that's true. I got a big kick out of that when that came up. How many dad auditions did Guo go through in season 2?
Too many.
Awesome. I think, all things considered, Bill kind of Cameron kind of made a good point where it was like he thought that he'd have to kind of be that support and guide for Gohan, and then Gohan kind of proved like, no, I think I got this quite a bit, honestly. And that's not to say that you didn't have moments where you got support or guidance from others, but it's kind of interesting to see that real individuality that Guo was kind of coming with. So that was cool. Who's your lodestar, by the way?
Oh, some dead guy.
Mr. Okuran.
Some dead guy. Is that all he means to you?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I still have not found a replacement lodestar.
No, that's fine. I think that's something that you'll get to. I think that's something I think it'll naturally happen. So whenever you feel like Guo has found that lodestar, you just let us know. Awesome. So we'll jump over to the other 3 questions. Did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Oh, well, there is some exciting news in the world. That is that they're building a tunnel through the mountain.
That's true. And they've got slides that get you into them.
That'll cut down your commute so much.
It's true. It's a genius new idea. Awesome. All right. I'll accept that. That's a fair point. Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem outside of the ones that we've already listed that you are free to mark as well?
I think we've listed all of them pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
And as long as you marked something from one of those, one of those, all of those, yeah. And then, did you guide a character towards balance, or did you end the session or season or whatever the case at center?
I think I did end it in center.
Hey, look at that! Somebody's gonna take a growth from that one. I think you did. I don't think there was really any point where your balance was really. I mean, he's such a mellow guy. What are your 2 principles, by the way?
Results and restraint.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if anything, maybe. Well, yeah, because he wasn't like super restrained, and he wasn't like overtly putting himself out there for the results necessarily. I mean, I think it was like within reason. So yeah, I'd say you're probably solidly in the middle there. So yeah, definitely mark that as well. So with that, did you take any advancements?
Yes, I
Awesome.
did. So I think from last time, I didn't quite level up either.
Okay.
So I think it works out that I have 2 level ups this time as well.
Yeah.
So I am going to take the +1 to passion,
Nice.
bringing it to +2.
Okay.
And then I have a character specific move that is driven by justice that allows me to take another increase to passion
Oh,
for a
okay.
maximum of 3.
Wow. All right. He's a passionate guy. He's gonna do things his way.
I will see justice for the death of my lodestar.
Oh, there we go.
Some old guy.
Lodestar sounds so crazy. I don't know why. I always think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So you have the Joestar family. I don't know. That's just me being a weeb, I guess. But awesome. Yeah, I know. So as I kind of mentioned before, just something I want to mention again, kind of reiterate. I think the live up to your principles and the balance moves and everything like that is something that we didn't focus on as much as we could have in the past. And I hope that maybe we'll find some fun, interesting ways to bring that out, especially since this is going to be the final season. So one thing that we had done before, I think that we started doing in season 2 was like, if you could justify where your principle was on your balance track, kind of like leaning towards. So for instance, like Cameron's playing the Guardian. So his 2 principles are trust and self-reliance. So if he was going to like push his luck and he felt like he was doing it in a way that his character was really leaning towards self-reliance and he had a +2 on that, because of where his balance was leaning, he would just be like, hey, I feel like this works. And then I would say, yeah, that works. And then he'd get a +2 on his roll. So that's not actually how it's supposed to work. And that's my bad for not kind of explaining that to you guys. So live up to your principle is its move in and of itself. And so basically when you live up to your principle, you don't roll with any of your normal stats. You would roll with your balance. And it can kind of apply to just about anything as long as it feels like it fits in that situation and maybe wouldn't be super straightforward to one of the other specifically mentioned moves, right? So just something to keep in mind. Again, that's my bad for maybe lacking on the rules a little bit and stuff like that. But definitely the balance stuff is something I feel like it'll be really fun to focus on, especially with the kind of closure and a lot of like character development happening and things like that. Also, since you guys will be coming out of a fresh rest at the rescue team squadron base after completing the mission and everything, your balance is going to return to center for the start of this, wherever that center is. Keep in mind that like you might not have your center directly at the middle. It might be leaning in one direction or the other automatically, but that's something you would have chosen at the beginning of the game. So you can clear up to 4 fatigue if you have it. Not 5. But also, you shouldn't be at a full 5. Otherwise, I think you'd have a problem. So just something to keep in mind moving forward. Again, if you're listening and you are confused at all, definitely check out the season 2 recap. If you need to re-listen to any episodes or anything like that, definitely do that. I also would highly recommend checking out the prequel episodes that we recorded. I think it'll be really nice to have that refresher on those so that you remember how each one of these characters got here, some of the stuff that's kind of going through their heads and their lives and emotions, and how that's going to affect things going into season 3. But with that, we'll be posting this right alongside episode 1, so you can go straight from here right into that one. So definitely check that out. Hey everyone, Skylar the Game Master for Benders Brews and the Creative Director over at Session Zero Heroes here. I just wanted to give you a quick outro before you head over to the next episode or call it a day. Firstly, thank you so much for listening to our show. It means so much to us to have such amazing people like yourself that enjoy the content that we produce. Without you, there really wouldn't be much point in all the work that we put into recording, editing, and sharing our TTRPG sessions with all of you. With that being said, we would love it if you would throw some love our way and drop us a review or a rating or whatever it is called wherever you're listening to the show, based on whatever platform that allows you to leave reviews and leave recommendations. It means a lot to us to get to hear why you love the show we make, and it also helps the show reach other listeners as well, allowing us to grow our community. So, if you're feeling especially generous, you could even go as far as to share our show to your friends and family who also enjoy TTRPG actual play podcasts. It's really expensive for us to be able to advertise, and we don't do much of it, so it's a lot more help to have you guys share it with people that you know will enjoy it, and then they can join in the community that we're creating. That would make you a Session Zero hero yourself. And additionally, we'd love to have you stop by on one of our various social platforms and interact with the channel there. You can find Session Zero Heroes on Facebook, X, Instagram, and Discord. We post all sorts of updates, clips, and even the occasional behind-the-scenes look at what we're up to. And if you're ever looking for information on SZH, or you don't use a podcast streaming site but you want to listen to our shows, you can do so by checking out our website at sessionzeroheroes.com. And while you're there, you can find out about the cast and the crew that make our show and provide the players' voices in all of our various series. And if you're feeling especially cheeky, you can check out our merch store, where we have a ton of designs and products to choose from, all of which help us pay the bills and keep the lights on. So once again, thank you all so much for listening, and remember to stay curious, stay heroic, until we roll again.